Well, you can see it in the charts. Precious metals continue to rise on the heels of this new emerging European war that, honestly could turn global at any minute. Okay. We're not completely out of the woods here. Nobody really is. So, Russia is the fourth largest producer of silver, and much of the world's platinum and palladium also comes from Russia, in case you didn't know that. So, we're going to talk about these global sanctions that have been imposed on Russia and what the impact is going to be on our favorite precious metals, gold, silver, and platinum. And we do have an article that kind of covers some of the impact, namely with silver, that is going to happen now that these sanctions are in place. But first, we'll start out with a quick unboxing of a couple American Silver Eagles before we get into the article. That plus more when we return. All right, everybody, welcome back. So got a quick unboxing here of some Silver Eagles. Also want to point out that, when I make these videos regarding events going on in the world, I'm not doing so to take sides or to focus on the political aspects of it. This is a precious metals focused channel, okay? And whether you like it or not, what goes on in the world is a significant driver of prices when it comes to precious metals, okay? Because precious metals are safe havens, namely gold, and to a lesser extent, silver. Those are the two popular metals that I primarily stack. So, when events take place in the world, such as riots or coronavirus or European war, we're going to talk about it here on the channel. So if those things don't interest you, you want to keep your head in the mud, go ahead. Go put your head in the mud, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to learn a little bit about, some of the impacts that we can expect as it comes to precious metals prices due to this conflict, then stay tuned. All right, so let's get to the article here. And as the woes of the world shift from the pandemic to war, silver has seen a considerable rally as investors move towards safe haven assets, of which precious metals are some of the most popular. I think we just covered that. Long considered a popular second choice when gold was a touch out of reach, silver may finally be taking center stage now. Silver prices have rallied over 70% in 2021 and are noticeably up since the war in Ukraine started and is expected to keep going this year as the conflict continues. Aside from being used for jewelry, demand for silver comes from dentistry, nuclear reactors, or nuclear needs, I should say, electronics, medicine, and much more. Russia is the world's current fourth largest silver producer behind Mexico, Peru, and China. All right, so noticed I said China as well, and we could see that come into play here in the future. Since the Ukraine conflict shows no signs of abating yet, this may lead to some shortage for the precious metals in the near future. Western sanctions have made it harder to transport mined output of ore from the country of Russia as producers quickly are shutting down. There's no need to continue producing if they can't export it, right? So this is definitely going to impact the financial markets, namely the precious metal silver. With a number of consumers boycotting Russian goods, silver prices may rise even more in the short term as the supply chain tightens for the next couple of months. All right, so if oil and gas prices are any indication, folks, of what could happen, both commodities, of course, to the price or value of gold and silver when the supply chain tightens up, then, maybe we should pay some attention to this. And maybe it's already happened. Take a look at the prices today. So let's talk about silver production in Russia. When it comes to the ongoing supply of silver, there are possibly better alternatives, such as Mexico and Peru, to turn to. But the Russian uncertainty would certainly cause supply to wobble in the short term, as Russia has definitely increased its production, producing approximately 42.5 million ounces of silver in 2020, which did come in sixth globally. However, with the investment in these mines, some investment in what Russia has been able to do over the last couple of years, and it has continually been increasing, the world has predicted that Russia is the fourth largest producer, in 2022. So there are several mines in Russia that are pretty big, but due to the conflict and subsequent share crashes, Polymetal International, which did invest and own some of the stake in these Russian mines, as well as Evraz, another mining giant, have been forced out of the FTSE 100 index, okay, because they had such a considerable stake here in these Russian mines. This development is expected to push silver prices even higher as investors look towards other alternatives, with the credibility of Russian silver crumbling. With a large part of silver production being a byproduct from the mining of other metals, It is also considered much easier to replace from other sources than that of gold. Russia also contributes the majority of global palladium and a sizable chunk of platinum and gold annually. All right, so analysis here. This could be a catalyst for platinum, okay? If access to palladium and palladium prices skyrocket, ever higher, becoming more and more valuable than that of platinum, this might give the auto industry the incentive that they need to switch back to platinum for catalytic converter production. Also, we're seeing, companies like MasterCard, Visa, I think even Netflix, stopping services in Russia, allowing financial transactions in Russia, right? Because of pressure. These are, modern day left-leaning companies, all right, that make decisions based on their social values, a lot like nation states, okay? The United States, Western world has taken a position here in this fight based on their values. Whether you agree with it or not, that is the stance of the governments, and so we all have to deal with it, right? And the potential outcomes from this. So something to consider here is platinum, and you've seen that metal moving quite nicely as well in the upper direction. All right, you could see some things interesting going on with the platinum metal. So silver is one of the most precious metals in the world, with properties of both gold and copper, which make it a coveted electrical conductor. Often shunned in favor of gold, silver has managed to carve a place for itself in a number of industrial uses, unlike gold, which is usually used for end products such as jewelry or investment products like the coins and bars we like to buy. Okay. Over the last 5 years, more than half of the yearly demand for silver has come from industrial use, mostly from countries like China and Japan, big industrial countries, which have massive and varied forms of industrial development. All right, silver is preferred for its excellent conductivity, having trouble reading today, I guess, which is the highest of any element. Yeah, we've known that for a long time. That's why you see silver in a lot of electrical, components, and people even recovering silver and to a lesser extent gold and platinum from some electrical components. Okay, so no secret here, folks. Why the gold to silver ratio may not be coming down at the rate we expected. All right, demand and the number of use cases for silver has continued to grow, but it is the continued bank manipulation that has held silver's true value down. All right, these are my thoughts, not from the article. Gold is becoming ever more what it has always been, in my opinion, which is the ultimate store of value and wealth. While silver is a monetary metal, folks, it is increasingly becoming an industrial metal. It is detaching itself from its monetary position as time has gone on. This is not a new development. This has been happening for decades, okay? How many countries are minting coins out of silver these days? Not too many, if any, right? So as, years pass on, silver is really kind of, its future, its value and trajectory is really kind of hanging more on its industrial use application than its monetary use because of the big bank manipulation. That's my opinion. Don't take it to the bank. I'm just one guy. Okay, back to the article. It is also coveted for its malleability, ductility, brilliance, and physical strength, which makes it ideal for sturdy as well as decorative items. We've all seen those fancy silver statues and things, ranging from tableware to mirrors and much more. It also has antibacterial properties. I believe my mattress topper has silver in it, and is remarkably sensitive to light, which makes it even more sought after. With its close ties to industrial demand, the metal benefits greatly from industrial growth, unlike gold, which demand for gold in the industry is only approximately 10 to 15%. Thus, silver flourishes in fast-growing economies, such as in China, where industrial growth is one of the most rapid in the world. Now, the author here is laying out the case for silver going forward. He's really preaching to the choir to most of my viewers that are still here today watching. Thank you. My core viewers and I have been discussing this for years, how, industrial demand for silver continues to increase. It is strictly Wall Street manipulation that continues to hold the value down. So it also means that in times of industrial uncertainty, okay, think back to the, lockdowns and economic shutdowns when the COVID pandemic kicked off back in March of 2020. Silver suffered as many industrial sectors of the economy greatly struggled to recover as their customer base fell off. Orders were canceled. The supply chain was disrupted. And of course, people just weren't showing up to work. Why would you show up to that, hot, miserable, low-wage paying job when you can just collect a check from Uncle Sam, right? So Silver is still considered a safe haven, though not as much as gold. The shortage has polished the metal's luster further as Russian supply slides out of the picture. This year, major demand is expected to come from solar and green energy industries as photovoltaic demand for silver has increased from 5% back in 2020 to approximately 10% in 2021. So that's a pretty big jump there in 1 year. This trend is expected to outperform in 2022 as demand surges well above 10% going forward. The ESG transition, as well as decarbonization, which, are popular themes in Western governments, have, begun to emerge in those climate summits. Those would also act as big driving forces behind silver demand for the renewable energy sector. We're talking green energy here. We're going to talk more tomorrow about green energy. It's something I definitely believe in. Now, my viewpoint is that you can't just immediately jump from fossil fuels to green energy. We're just not there yet, right? The batteries aren't there yet. The wind farms aren't there yet. The hydroelectric power, it's just not capable of supporting the population boom that we're experiencing in a lot of, parts of the world, right? But I'm a big believer in it. I think that's the future in the long term. Just like I say, stacking gold and silver is a long-term investment strategy from my viewpoint. It's something that you buy and hold. You pay a premium. You don't want to lose that premium, so you don't want to be getting in and out of them like you would with crypto or stocks, where the transaction fees are very low. When it comes to physical gold and silver, the transaction fees are very high. Okay, so I'm seeing silver definitely playing more of a role going forward with green energy, which, whether you like it or not, guys and girls, it's happening. Okay, the majority of the people like it, so that tends to be the way things go. So in the future going forward, I think we'll see more of a silver play in all of that. So it is coveted for many reasons. With its close industrial ties, the metal benefits greatly from industrial growth, okay? All right, let's talk about the gold to silver ratio. And the gold to silver ratio, also called the mint ratio, looks at the relative value of an ounce of gold to an ounce of silver, or vice versa. Thus, it illustrates the number, of ounces of silver that you need in order to equate to the same value in gold. And it changes because the spot prices change for these metals, daily. This ratio is primarily used for traders in order to make sure their portfolios are sufficiently diversified when it comes to precious metals between gold and silver. They can thus use it also to hedge their bets on both metals. Historically, the gold to silver ratio was employed by governments to control monetary stability. This going back during a time when the governments were trying to keep the value of silver and gold pegged at the same ratio. All right, so since then, the gold to silver ratio has seen considerable rally as the Delta, Omicron, and IHU variants of coronavirus all, surfaced one after another, leading to widespread anxiety with sell-offs in the market and concerns for commodities. But by the end of February 2022, this ratio has, come to it started out around 79 to 1, is sitting at about 76 to 1 now. So silver is making a little bit of a gain on gold, even as gold, is getting much more close than silver is to its all-time highs. So there you go. Definitely something to consider, guys. Russia, the fourth largest exporter of silver in the world. With these sanctions and restrictions, definitely going to impact the supply chain. We're seeing silver up over $1 today. It's looking really good for those of us that stacked last year and, years before that held on to our silver and didn't give up hope. As prices are moving in the right direction now for those that want the price of silver to go up. For those of us that are still accumulating, still buying, obviously this means higher spot price and higher premiums as demand and potentially a supply crunch on the horizon could occur. At least the dealers will feed us that story even if it's not there, right? They're always looking for an opportunity to raise prices. So be on the lookout, guys and girls. It's going to get a little bit more expensive to stack the physical here this year. That's my opinion as we come on our now third crisis in the last really 2 years. Starting with the riots that began in the summer leading up to the election and the coronavirus, and of course we've got this new war. So that's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you back tomorrow. I will have a video coming out tomorrow on green energy applications, and then back to regular stacking for Thursday and Friday. We'll do some more silver and gold focused stuff as we head into the weekend. Take care, my friends. Happy stacking, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching our video. I hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel.